Senator Den Hartog.
Mr. President, I move that all rules of the Senate interfering with the immediate consideration of Senate Bill 1206 be suspended.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that all rules interfering with the immediate consideration of Senate Bill number 1206 be suspended.
Mr. President.
Senator Harris.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent. The roll call vote used to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of House Bill 466 be now used to suspend the rules interfering with the immediate consideration of Senate Bill 1206.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, roll call shows 32 ayes, 0 nay, 3 absent or excused. More than 2/3 having voted in the affirmative, all rules interfering with the immediate consideration of Senate Bill 1206 have been suspended. The Senate now has before it for final consideration Senate Bill number 1206. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill 1206 by Finance Committee, an act relating to the appropriation to the Department of Health and Welfare.
Mr. President.
Senator Wintrow.
Mr. President, I request unanimous consent to dispense with further reading of Senate Bill 1206 and let the journal show it's been read a third time at length, section by section, and laid before the Senate for final consideration.
You've heard the request. Is there an objection? Hearing none, Senator Wintrow, you're recognized to open debate on Senate Bill 1206.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. Here we go. Senate Bill 1206 is the budget that provides additional resources supporting the Southwest Idaho Treatment Center, which we call SWTC, and the Idaho Child Care Program. And it's important to note that you'll see the Idaho Child Care Program in this budget now. It used to be in Health and Welfare's Self-Reliance Program, but as many people know, there was a few little issues with that program in the past. And in order to create a little bit more transparency, instead of commingling the money in that large account, the director chose to pull it out and put it in this area. So you'll see line items here in the future for greater transparency. So that's what you're seeing here today. So let's just go through the line items. First you're going to see that we move extended employment services from the Division of Medicaid division. Or into. And you saw that in a previous bill. So you're going to see on line item 35, the reduction of 3 FTP and that reduction of $3.5 million. And that goes, as we saw in a different budget a couple days ago. So that's just equaling that out. And then you're going to see in line item 6, this is the START certification. We're in year 3 of 4, and this is a nationally recognized model that we utilize at SWTC that basically trains the staff and does programs and services to treat people as a whole person instead of kind of dissecting them into silos. It's a really great model, and it's really brought great results there at SWTC. So you'll see that. And then line item 7 is the ICCP federal fund increase. And the first item is for the additional federal fund spending authority. So just permission for the Idaho Child Care Program. ICCP pays for a portion of child care costs for low-income Idahoans, working families, in order to keep parents employed and working towards self-sufficiency. And this is an additional ongoing funding made available to Idaho that will help increase the number of families provided support to. It's important to note here too, this $4.2 million, again, the money is there from the Donald J. Trump. I guess I better get my blood sugar, get a piece of candy. But we know the Trump administration was very supportive of child care, and in the election, he and his vice president were very clear about the support for child care. So that funding is there in the federal program. It is here, and so we're just giving permission for the state of Idaho to spend that. So that's why you'll see that. Then the second part of that is for one-time federal fund. That's a spending authority to improve child care capacity. Now, this is in the governor's initiative line item. You'll see there $14 million. It used to be 15. We actually cut $1 million out, unfortunately, but that was going to support their software and system to track and administer all the programs and funding, but the working group determined that they could do without that. So hopefully that'll be the case and they don't have to go to clipboards and pencils to track all that, but we'll see. So that $1 million came out. The $14 million, I think you can consider that going hand in hand with House Bill 243. And we deregulated childcare because we said we wanted to make sure we could build more capacity and actually grow childcare. So this grant would really be supportive and goes hand in hand with that bill. In helping with that, and that's over a period of time. The first installment of the $14 million is available in 2026, and that will be that really nice complement to House Bill 243, I think is what it was. Yes, and let's see. And you'll see on the second page, you'll see a really startling 159% increase. And that's a little deceiving because, as we remember, in another Senate bill, we actually are doing some reorganization in the department. The new director has done that. And $59 million from the Division of Welfare for Division of Early Learning. So you're seeing that swap in when we're changing. So basically, we took an entire program out of welfare and we're putting it right here. So that's why we see that big increase. So it's not really, it's a little deceiving. And then you'll see a reduction of 42 staff, 42.88. Again, that's part of the reorganization and pulling staff out of there. Whew, I think those are the big highlights for this budget. Again, this is childcare, it's SWITC. I do want to make note, there was some criticism of the bill that basically concerned about the federal funds. And I want to remind everybody in this budget and the next two, there's intent language in every one of these budgets that says if the federal grant program is cut off, then it goes away and you can't supplant another state program. And the department's taken that pretty seriously, and so is JFAC. So that's in every one of those. With that, Mr. President, debate is open.
Debate is open. Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Grow.
just add a couple of comments, if I may. We have a new director with Alex Adams at the Department of Health and Welfare, and he's really focused on child kinds of things, children, and on foster care, and a lot of effort to really beef up that whole side of things under the Health and Welfare Department. Part of what he's done is he's reorganized the whole department. And so it makes it a little difficult for you and for us initially to determine what is going on. Why do we have a 159% increase here? What we're seeing are movement from different departments. So you're going to see reductions in other departments commensurate with these increases that you're seeing here. So this is department realignment, readjustment at the request of the director. He worked us through that several hours to make sure we understood exactly who was moving what and where. So don't get alarmed at that number. You'll see other things that help compensate for that. So we would encourage your vote on this, and thank you.
Senator Galloway.
To debate the bill.
You have the floor.
I just want to talk for a few minutes about the $14 million for the child care federal grants. In the past, we've seen lots of child care subsidies, and those are not super popular in this building. But this is a different approach to child care, and we know that we have a child care shortage. And what this allows is the Idaho free market to grow in this area. And I'm just going to give you one hypothetical example of what this money could actually be used for. So again, it's federal grant money that's coming no matter what. It's not Idaho state tax dollars. Well, they paid their federal taxes, but it's not general fund money. And what they can do with this is, let's say that there's a mom in a neighborhood who wants to open an in-home child care. She could apply for a grant at Health and Welfare, and maybe the grant is for startup costs to creating a safe childcare in her home where she could take neighborhood kids in. And maybe the grant would be to fence her yard in and maybe build a play structure. Let's say it's $3,000 to $5,000. So small little amounts of money that allow maybe stay-at-home moms or people that want to help address the child care shortage that we have by starting small businesses and helping them be successful here in Idaho to create additional slots for kiddos that need safe places to play. And I just encourage your yes vote because I really like the approach of helping small businesses start as opposed to increasing subsidies and those kind of things. So that's all.
Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Cook.
maybe just to echo the last two senators, This is part of the deregulation of child care. They're really trying to push it down and take care of children at an earlier stage instead of all the costs of trying to deal with an adult. And I'm excited with what he's trying to do with Alex Adams. And as many of you know, he's taken another job to Washington, or he's gone. But I don't want you to think that all is lost, though, because when he took this job as Director of Health and Welfare, he brought some incredible people from across the entire state. He just, not to sound bad, but he robbed some of the very best that we have, and he's built this department. And they are all on board with his new vision of how he wants to take care of children. And by doing so, he truly believes that at the other end of building jails and juvenile delinquents and everything else, that's going to go away, or at least diminish. And so that's what we're hoping to do with this, and this child care budget here is part of that. So I'd encourage your aye vote. Thank you.
Debate is open. Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Bierke,
to debate the bill.
you have the floor.
Mr. Senator, Mr. Chairman, President, I'm going to get this right. I think it's getting late here. I think you all are senators. I was intimately acquainted with 243 as the bill's sponsor, but just to echo with my colleagues who worked on this, we look at the realignment of health and welfare and all that had been said prior, and we think about what this program and health and welfare was designed to do, was to take care of the most vulnerable, to take care of the children, the widows and orphans. And we heard the other day there was a question on dedicated funds, and we found out that we're calling those magic funds or magic money. And I think I pointed out the 7 different sources for that magic money. And I heard today we have a new term, and it's good federal money and bad federal money. So that was a good one for me. But if you look at it, it's a good thing to know that there are some good federal monies. And I would say that this is a good federal money source here, and it's going to provide for innovation and market-driven approaches to really deal with the issue that we have in this state. Like I said, number 2 thing, out of 2, of course, is people asking me about more child care, affordable child care. So I think this is a good start and a good move in the right direction, and I'm going to support this bill. Thank you.
Is there further debate? Hearing none. Senator Wintrow, you're recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank all the senators who chimed in. I think it was 14, 5, 15, and 32. Really appreciate that. I think we all recognize how important our children are and our futures and how we care for them. So thank you for that support, and I hope we all would support this budget.
Debate is closed. Debate being closed, the question before the Senate is, shall Senate Bill number 1206 pass the Senate? The Secretary will call the roll.
Adams. Anthem.
Aye.
Burned. Bierke. Blaylock. Burtonshaw. Carlson. Coho. Cook. Den Hartog. Foreman. Galloway. Grow. Guthrie. Harris. Hart. Kaiser. Cole. Lakey. Nichols. Okonowitz. Ricks. Summeroth. Shippey. Taylor. Taves. Van Orden. Ward Ingleking. Wintrow. Waller. Woodward. Zito. Adams. Nichols.
60 seconds.
Senator Nichols, you have 60 seconds to explain your vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I normally don't vote for these things, but as I'm listening to the debate that's being had, This seems like it's a fairly reasonable approach. I know it looks scary and the percentages look scary at the end, but as I'm listening to it, it's not really what we're seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and vote for this at this time because I think there's some things that may come about that might be beneficial and actually save some money in the long run. So I will vote yes.
Senator Nichols votes aye.
Taves? Woodward? There is also a paired vote. Senator Ruchte votes aye. Senator Zeiderveld votes nay.
Roll call shows 27 ayes, 7 nay, 1 absent and excused, a majority having voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill number 1206 has passed the Senate. Is there a correction to title? Hearing none, the title is approved, and Senate Bill number 1206 will be transmitted to the House of Representatives.